guys haven't had a chance to do it, jump out of the live show real quick. Go and look at the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden little 1 minute and 24-second blurb. Go share it. Come back in. Please do me a favor. Get this out there, man. This is good stuff. Nothing like Hunter and Joe Biden doing self-owns. Go watch it and then come back. Hurry up. Please.
So confused, you feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Hey, Hogs Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. What are we doing? This show is brought to you by PFC Flags. Behind us, you will see a few flags made out of wood. They are made by Percival Flag Company, a great company. Please do me a favor. Go to pfcflags.com. Pick up a flag. Tell them the Don't Unfriend Me store sent you. Welcome, everybody. Hello, everybody. You all, everybody.
You all, everybody.
You all, everybody. What's going on, everybody? It's been a busy day, Liv. I've gotten a lot done. I've done like 2 or 3 videos. I was surfing a site. We had a post go viral, so it's been.
You made an amazing dinner.
Tell everyone about my amazing dinner.
You cooked an amazing dinner. Pork chops were good. They were yummy.
Pan seared.
The whole thing.
Pan seared in a skillet. 2 minutes each side. Got some bourbon, brown sugar rub. Put them all over. Seared them. Blackened them. And then put them in the oven in the pan. 425 degrees for, about 12 minutes. Pretty damn good. And then come on, we're not done. What else?
And you sliced up some, was it baby red potatoes?
No, it was russets. We did russets.
Oh, okay. What did I get those for? I don't know. Anyway.
Well, you left them out there. I told you, you leave russet potatoes, I'm going to cook them. Oh. Anyway, since you're failing at this, I'm going to go ahead.
Go.
We sliced them, about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch thick. Olive oil drizzle with crushed sea salt and pepper, with a little bit of garlic salt, then sprinkle Parmesan cheese in the final stages. Put those in the oven for about 30 minutes at 450. And sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And then we had some asparagus. It was good. It was a good dinner.
It was great.
Yeah.
Kids didn't believe me when I said you were a really good cook. I think they do now.
Yeah, they've been eating everything. I mean, they've been paid.
Which shows that I was a shitty cook.
No, I don't think it shows that. It just shows that I'm a better cook.
Well, yeah. That means that you always have to cook from now on because they.
No, that's not what it means at all. That means there's nothing remotely even close to that being a reality. You're going to go back and do your womanly duties as soon as I get back to work. You don't have anything to throw at me. You threw everything last night. So here's a pen. Here's a pen.
And my chapstick.
No, that's my chapstick. No, you threw it. It's a demilitarized zone. It's a DMZ unless you're some stray U.S. Army soldier to come into North Korea.
Not my pen.
You got your pen. You're fine. You've got a pen. You can throw that at me. Throw it effectively. It'll roll.
Can I at least use the chapstick?
Because you're not going to give it back. You think I was born at night?
Yes.
There it is. All right. So it's right there.
I can't reach it.
No, listen. Pull out and go to the right. It's right there. You got this. There you go. Good job. All right, so what are we doing? Listen, we don't have a syllabus tonight. I didn't have time. I was busy making a video. Tiff, welcome. I'm glad I'm back in your news feed. Hopefully that's Mike Blankman's going to buy the store. We'll do it. I mean, you get 10% off. Dottie says, I made a fried Italian pork chops, mashed potatoes with gravy, corn, and green beans. That sounds delicious.
Yeah,
that sounds like some Southern cooking. Dale, welcome. Tam, hello. Isaac, what's up, buddy? Rhonda, Kristen. I think Kristen shared the Twitter feed video quickly. Michelle, hello. Marianne. Wow, 4 names. Wow. Marianne Caggiano. Olsen Armstrong. You can't do Olsen Armstrong in an Italian accent. Olsen and Armstrong. I can't do it. So Marianne Caggiano, Olsen and Armstrong. Yeehaw. It's a good name. Strong name. Four names in one. I love it. Kristen, I already said hi to you. Cheryl. Amy. Lee is in the house. Cheryl's in the house. Cheryl says, I already watched. It was a good one. Yes, you watched, but did you share? Olivia Spears. Olivia Spears, how are you there? You're right next to me. I don't understand. This technology is incredible. Where are you? That was so planned. That was actually really well done. You were just waiting for me to say Olivia Spear. Hey, folks, my name is Matthew Spear. I'm the host of Don't Unfriend Me. Good to have you here. Welcome to the show. We've got some stuff to talk about tonight. There's been a lot going on.
Mr. Nick Carroll is in the house.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Nick Carroll's in the house, still point. So I want to talk about that.
Oh my God, what's going on?
Hi, Tina. Hello, Thomas. Joseph's here. Hi, Joseph. Joanne is here. Colleen, welcome. Brian. Paul. Kat is here. Jimmy's here. Doing good, Jimmy. Thanks for asking, buddy. Dottie. We already know Mike Blankman. He's going to buy the whole store tonight. Ramon is on. Joe Hillstrom. Judy Gurley. Judy was over there. She shared my post. Thank you. Jason Hyde. Good evening, my fellow American dummies. Outstanding. Pan-seared perfect. You're damn Skippy. Love Matt's shirt in black, too. There's no reason to bring race into this. Debbie, did you have fried apples, too? Because you cannot have pork chops without apples and call yourself an American. We've made that.
That's my recipe, but I did make dinner tonight.
Yeah, she didn't do her job. So I did. But no, I like fried apples. But the kids don't. They kind of, but I like it. I like fried apples. Fried apples are yummy. Mike says, effing stop, Matt. I'm shopping and hungry, and you're making it worse. Well, my fajitas were pretty damn good last night, too.
Yeah, best fajitas I've had in a long time.
I make a wicked fajita, folks.
Yes.
I'm a cook, folks. I can cook like, yeah, pretty good. Bubba, welcome, Bubba. Good to have you here, buddy. Matt makes the next pot pie, Olivia. Ooh, I don't know about that. Chef Matt Spear. Yeah, I think
I can give you the recipe.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's actually pretty easy.
It is. Nick, so let's talk about Still Point real quick. So Still Point was so cool releasing their new album with us that they are going to be releasing the new album and the Don't Unfriend Me show for free. They're going to give it to you. I will have it up on the site on Friday. There'll be a zip link for it. You just go up there, you download it, take it, play it, put it in your MP3 player, put it in your phone, put it on your computer, and you will get the Don't Unfriend Me music and the new release by Still Point. Pretty exciting. Kingdoms Upon the Sand was released last week, and you guys get it for free, and that's going to be all dummy. So we're going to release it on the website as well as the show, and it's yours for a free download. Not too bad. Nothing, you can't beat free unless you're Joe Biden. You get promised free stuff and never get it. Shane is here. Shane, don't go. Shane. Santana. Hey, Santana. David, hello. Carol. Everyone's talking tonight. Go figure. I start mentioning the names and everyone's once there. Shirlene is here.
Everyone's talking about dinner.
Donna. Melanie. Jennifer, good evening. Hope you all having a great evening. We're doing good, Jennifer. She's got her kid in the picture. CJ Jenkins. Tina, hello from Texas. Hello, Tina. Sandra Casey. Steven from Michigan. How do we feel about the 16 electors that were arrested? I've got an opinion on it. We'll talk about it tonight. What else? Matthew, any horseradish with the chops? No, absolutely not. I hate horseradish. I know. I can't stand horseradish on prime rib either. I just, ugh. Why ruin a good piece of meat? Au jus, or occasionally when you're having your French fries and the juice of the steak kind of runs in and mixes with the ketchup from the fries, and then, oof, it makes a great sauce. It's so much better than A1. Anybody who puts A1 on a steak is a Nazi.
Can you see the Rumble comments?
No.
Okay, that's why. Because somebody said, "What about the Rumble crowd?" So I didn't.
Well,
know if you can't see
that's
that.
your job. That's not my job. It's your job. You've got Rumble up. Why don't you say something? Go ahead and call out the Rumble people.
All right.
Go ahead.
Judy's on.
Hi, Judy.
She had pork chops today too. I think everyone had pork chops today.
Sounds like everybody had pork chops. Everyone got their pork on.
I'm not going to say.
I know. That's later. That's later.
No.
Okay, go. Come on, Rumble.
Kevin's on.
Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Styles B36 is on.
Because there were 35 other Styles Bs.
I don't know their real name. But hello.
Hello, Styles. Okay.
There's 15 watching. Just only 3
I got
are
Rumble.
coming.
Listen, I hope you follow the show. I hope you liked it because we're getting there. I got to call
Rumble
everybody
is
off.
beating YouTube lately for their thumbs up and how many people watch.
Screw YouTube. I don't care. Scotty's in the house. Abe, Wendy, what are you drinking, Matt? Looks like pea with good vitamins. That's exactly what it is. It's got asparagus piss. It's an amino acid shake, and it also has creatine in it, and it's a recovery shake from working out. When you get this old, your muscles tear, and that's obviously good because that's how you build new muscles. But it's painful, right? Because especially if you do a good workout, it rips and tears your muscles, and then the muscle fiber gets filled with blood, and then it overall creates new muscle. And this is, how. So the shake is a good recovery shake. So this is one of 3 that I drink. I have a pre-workout shake, I have a post-workout shake, and then I've got protein that I also drink too. So yeah, it's it does a body good. But yeah, it's basically urine.
It's dodgeball. I drink my own urine because it's sterile.
I drink urine because it's sterile and it tastes good. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I apologize for the short live feed the other night. My camera guy, a.k.a. my brother, didn't know how to record the whole show. It's fine. We only got applesauce. Don't worry about it. Lasagna in the oven. All right. Sound of Freedom reviews out there. There's a ton. Patricia, Greg. Listen to all these people. Everybody. Okay. Robin. Marianne. The skipper, too. Darlene. Love your show. Thanks, Darlene. Tina is here. Greg is here. Butter-basted steak, my man. In a skillet. Cast iron skillet. Unwashed. Never wash your cast iron skillet. Anyone who does that is a fascist. Matt is here. This show makes me happy. Makes me happy. We got to get that soundbite.
Yes, we do.
It seems to be kind of like a, I miss Texas food. Amen.
I do, too.
I miss Texas food, too. Best barbecue on the planet. I mean, Virginia,
Texas.
We have found one of the greatest barbecue places ever, and I never thought I would say that. In Virginia. Chicken tetrazzini, Patricia says. Outstanding. Ooh. Dale is on. A1 only on a bad steak. A1 on nothing. A1 on nothing. I made a chicken rice casserole. Great. Fries with brown gravy are delish, Dottie says. Annie Putman says A1 ruins a good steak or prime rib. It sure does. Trucking Tinkerbell says pork roast tonight. Look at this. Everyone's getting porked. Pork pie. Kristen said, I don't know about that.
Pork pie? That doesn't sound good.
Pork pie. Pork pie? No.
Pork fried rice.
I did pork loin with onions and potatoes, Melanie says. Holy crap. Had a grinder salad with low carb wraps. That sounds horrible.
What is a grinder salad?
I don't know, but you need to do something with some fat in it, protein in it, and carbs in it right now, young lady, Jennifer. What an interesting name. Jennifer Ubler Rice. I like that. Ubler.
Her last name's Rice.
Yeah. Oh, come on, please. There's like Steph.
I'm
like
just
Smith.
curious.
You're not related to her. And you were not related to Jerry Rice either,
I
even
know
though
I'm
you
not
tried. You're
related
such
to
a
Jerry
racist.
Rice.
You're such a racist.
But
Racist.
any family in San Diego? Just curious.
Not Diane Foffelbach from Eagle River. Eagle River. Hi, guys. Awesome. Hi, Kathy. Hold on. Cheryl's offering something. I would love to send you some spices from our Northern Spice Company here in Manistee. I would love to send you and Olivia some of the spices. They have an awesome black and spice. Their garlic powder is awesome. Ever since I've been using it, I will not go back to. Duh. Someone go get off the damn camera and go get in touch with Cheryl Lynn right now and find out. Liv, she's offering spices. Yes, we would humbly take spices.
Message me.
Mock me.
Message me.
Mock me. Message Olivia. That's Olivia. It's OLIVIASPEER. She's on Facebook, or just send me a direct message, or owner@donutfriendme.com. Cheryl, we'll get you a shirt. You send us some spices and everything nices. Love that movie. Hilarious, Jennifer says. I got my wash tub barbecue with the lid off of our old Weber that fell out of a truck. It looks good. Glenn, that completely makes sense. My chicken enchiladas is the best. Jason, my chicken enchiladas are the best. Proper English is important even when you're talking about Mexican food. Kristen says, lots of new chatters tonight. I know it's a ton. Carrie says, hello, everyone. Hi, Carrie. Yes, cast iron skillet. I got a lot of cast iron. Outstanding. You're making me hungry. I'm sorry, Annie. Joseph says, hi, Carrie. Patricia, yep, love butter, basted steak, and cast iron skillet. Washing it is a cardinal sin. Or a sin. It's fine. Both the same thing. It's good. I don't know why I'm being a grammar Nazi tonight. Maybe I'll just stop doing that. Scrapple and eggs tonight for me. The funny thing is I had no idea what scrapple was until I moved to Virginia, and I'm a Southern boy, but scrapple, I've never had it. It just doesn't look appetizing to me. Everyone says it's great, but I also learned the difference between country ham and city ham, for God's sakes. I didn't know there was a difference. I got yelled at our breakfast
Country
table.
ham.
You don't know what a country ham is, you city redneck Yankee? What? How can I be a city redneck Yankee? I don't understand. So I guess there's a difference between country ham and city ham, and I still really don't know the difference. But my basic understanding is that that's right. Country ham has more salt in it, and it's like a brined ham, and it's very salty. Either way, who cares? Just throw it in front of me. My mom used to say to me, "Don't salt your ham; you'll get cancer." My mom was crazy. CJ.
Among other things.
Yeah, I was in the military 14 years. I'm disabled now, so I cook. Greg, outstanding. Is that a beautiful cat you got there? That is a gorgeous cat, I think. Let me see. Let's see that kitty. Meow. Oh, cute cat. So Sylvester, I thought I saw a booty tat. That's a cute cat. We like cats. We're cat people. Awesome. I don't know. It's not a Mancoon. It's a tabby, black tabby. Awesome. I know all about shakes. I just wanted to know what was in it because I always look for new health drinks. Just FYI, Wendy is my first. Thanks for swishing your pee in your mouth, by the way. Oh, no problem. It's just got a nutty pecan aftertaste. It's just delicious. I drink my own pee because it's sterile and it tastes good. Not having pork pie, I'm making burgers. Bacon does a body good. Well, I don't know about that, but it is tasty. All right. Everyone's here. Yes, I made butternut squash fritters. Ooh, fritters. Ooh, butternut squash fritters nonetheless. Have you ever had apple fritters, honey?
I think so.
What about hush puppies? You know, it's like basically fritters with a little bit of powdered sugar. Maybe I'll make those. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make those.
Okay.
I got to do biscuits. Good. We make killer biscuits here at the house. We do good stuff. We eat well. I mean, we watch our body. Well, I watch Olivia's body. She doesn't watch her body because it's really hard to watch your own body.
I eat whatever.
She does. She eats whatever. She still
as long
looks.
As there's chocolate in the house, I don't care.
She still looks hot. She looks like she's 18. If I show you a picture when she was 18, you'd be like, no effing way. She's like the Dick Clark of women. Just want to let you know. Grilled chicken, asparagus with a salad. Ooh, that sounds good. Sounds good. All right. We're learning. All right. Good stuff. Got a bunch of good stuff. All right. Here we go. Just fried biscuits dipped in powdered sugar. Okay. Well, we should do a food channel. Everyone seems to like it. If I missed your name and I didn't say hello, I apologize. Hello to you. Welcome. Anybody on Rumble yelling and screaming and saying, pay attention to me? No? Nope. All right. Here's the thing. It's been a bit. We are going at 9 o'clock. Why are we going at 9 o'clock, Liv?
Because I've worked a really long
That's not
week.
the reason. That's not the reason.
Diablo.
We're going to go play Diablo.
I haven't played Diablo in a couple days.
Yeah, we got to go play some Diablo.
And I work all week.
And Thursday, the new season starts, the first season, and we will not be on. I'm just letting you know. I'm going to go play Diablo. So anyone who has a problem with that, you can suck duck egg blue and have that for dinner. All right. Jason Aldean. Olivia, do you know who Jason Aldean is?
Yes, I do.
What are your thoughts on Jason Aldean as far as a country music star?
I think he's good. I don't know. I know who he is, and I'm sure I've heard of a song, but I can't name it.
He's got a great voice.
He does.
I mean,
I used to be a huge country fan. That's all I listened to in high school. But I kind of got off the country kick for a while because radio wasn't a thing anymore. So went to iTunes, and then I don't know. I just stopped listening to it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I really like the guy's music, and he released a song that kind of resonates with me. Like I'm from the city. And Tuner says, my feed is full of Diablo ads now, and I don't play it. It's because I talk about it all the time.
Funny.
Whenever I talk about, the ads show up, which is great. So I love the fact that I'm pushing Diablo ads and getting paid for it. That is exciting. So thank you for telling me that. Jason Aldean is a country music. God, can you just get free news without having to pay for it anymore? No. I mean, my gosh. You know what? We'll just stick with Fox. He did have a heat stroke in one of his concerts the other day, and that's to be expected. But I'm challenging. Should I play the song? Oh, it's an ad. It's an ad.
This is gonna taste all right.
I don't know how to.
Those ads, I don't know how to put them either.
There we go. Look at that. I can stop it. That's awesome. So this guy releases a song. And the song is about a small town. I'm going to play you the intro video so you can see it as far as what I was talking about today, about what it is about. And then we'll play the song. Now, we don't have permission to play it, so if I get a copyright strike, I don't care. I want him to have the money, and I am fine with that, and I am okay with that, and that doesn't bother me in the least. So I just don't want to get a massive strike where I get in trouble, which I won't, because ultimately the content of what we're talking about is bigger than just the song, because we're going to be talking for a good hour. So if we take a look at this and watch this video, this is going to give you an idea of what's been going on. I talk a little bit about it, and it's pretty short, 2 minutes. And then I'm going to play the song because I think it's important to do that. Oh, look at this. They're nailing my Hunter Biden video.
Already?
Yeah, they're not playing it. It says we're having a problem loading this video.
Yeah, right.
Dude, can anyone see it? Oh, this is such dirtbag.
Let me look at my feed.
See if you can see it on your phone.
I told Hayden come get the cat, and what did she do?
I don't know. Let's focus on this because I think I'm being censored. That is dirty. Is that what they're doing? Why would they
protecting
do that?
NWA and F the police?
What do you see, Liz?
All right, it's on there. It's playing.
Okay. It's just not loading.
It's just not loading on your
Okay, well, that's fine. See,
reason.
Facebook's always good for me. All right, here's the video. Take a listen.
It's interesting that the party that went from protecting NWA and F the police, talking about freedom of speech, and that even controversial, explicit lyrics were important for society to hear and understand because there was a different voice that was being oppressed out there. Sure don't have the same opinion of Jason Aldean when he writes a song that has nothing to do with violence, nothing to do with threatening anybody. Simply saying if you come to a small town and try the things that you do in the inner city, it's not going to fly. It's not derision, it's not conjecture, it's not cynicism, it's just reality. We have a different life out here. I know you all think that we're deplorable and racist and xenophobic. It's interesting. If we live in these utopia societies of white towns, why are we complaining about minorities? Well, we're not. And most of our neighbors are. Of all different facets, colors, religion, sexual disposition, we just don't care. We don't make it the forefront of what we do. We go to work, we play hard, we go to sleep, we pray, and we raise our children the best way we know how. Jason Aldean is simply saying that you guys are on a path to destruction, and we're sitting here watching, and just letting you know, don't bring it to our town. Jason Aldean, I don't know him. One day I hope to talk to him and meet him. I love his song, I love his music. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. And I really appreciate the fact that he's not collapsing to the woke brigade. Awake but not woke, folks. This is what it means. You ask the question. It doesn't mean that you don't care about racial injustice. It doesn't mean that you don't care about people being discriminated against. It's the fact that you were never asleep to it and you are aware of it. It is being taught in schools. It's being taught every single day. It's talked about in our churches. It's talked about in our small towns. We've just found a way to live harmoniously together. And before you castigate upon us your sins, maybe you should try to figure out how to do the same. More power to Jason Aldean. Listen to his song. It's awesome. Talk to you guys later tonight at 8 o'clock.
All right. So now you understand what's going on. Liv, you cope aesthetic? Mm-hmm. All right. So they are canceling him. CMT has pulled it. CMT, Country Music Television. Who do they think their audience is?
Exactly. Don't they realize that when you try to cancel someone, they just get more popular?
It depends. I mean,
just wanted to start a business.
If you're Disney, no. But yeah, I mean, generally, especially conservatives. Listen, we're going to play this. And if I get hit with copyright, I'll email Jason. I asked Ryan Weaver if he could do me a favor and please see if he could reach out to him. And Ryan's like, I'm not popular in Nashville. And it makes sense because they're honestly, surprisingly enough, a little liberal at times. But here we go. Let's play it. I want you to listen to it. Tell me what you think. Listen to the words because the words are fantastic. Here it is.
Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like, cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that in a small town.
These farmers are dropping their own crops for the day. A friend is in need, and they've come to help.
It's what this community and a lot of our communities stand for. Somebody needs some help, you'll get it.
Try that in a small town.
So, you know, listen, if copyright hits and it can, I don't care. Like I said, it's not, I'm not going to profit off this more than probably $15, $20 on live shows. Our live shows aren't big enough. And occasionally they get that way and then they become profitable, but it doesn't matter to me. I've already purchased the music on iTunes and I get free iTunes. We get free music that we can download anytime we want because we're a part of the Apple Music family and all that stuff. But I love the song because unless you're from a small town. Now, I want to be clear. We've lived in big cities and we've lived in small towns. Our current town is like 700 people.
Like
and
650, actually.
Yeah, it's even lower than that. Yeah, it's like 570, 650. It's not a lot. I had no idea. I thought there was a few thousand here. It's tiny. But we've lived in Phoenix and Houston. Houston's going to be the third largest city in the United States. It's going to surpass Chicago sometime in 2024, 25. We've lived in Phoenix. We've lived in Albuquerque, which is relatively small, Denver, in California in various areas, and now Virginia. And, and so we're from a small town. Our last place in Texas was a small town too.
And I grew up in a small town. There
Yeah.
was only 97 people in my high school senior class.
Yeah, so there's a different mentality out here, and it's not. I don't know. Houston was it was a very small town in Tomball, Texas, but it was one of the most diverse places we've ever lived. This is a very diverse place that we have here as well. I think it's ridiculous for anyone to say that small towns are racist, and I'm sure. I mean, listen, we have active Klan within a rock throw of here, but that doesn't mean these people are in office or they're taken seriously. And if any of them walk down the street in their garb, they would not have a good day. I mean, FAFO, man, they F around and find out. But what puzzles me, Liv, is a song like that is simply just stating what happened. And it's demonstrating what happened. If the left is so darn ashamed of it, then why did they let it happen? Why did they bail out BLM members? Why did they condone it and call for it in the streets? Why did they call for open riots? Why did they not say something during George Floyd and the Summer of Love? Why didn't they say anything in 2016 when Donald Trump was elected and they immediately started rioting and setting things on fire? Isn't this the Democrat MO? How is this song, which I did it myself. I compared it to NWA, Straight Outta Compton, and F the Police, but it's nothing like that. It has no foul language. It makes no threats. There's nothing racial about this. There's nothing
Country. They all sing about small towns.
right.
I mean, I don't remember. Toby Keith did his song, the one right after 9/11.
Yeah,
And I know that was about 9/11, but he's talking about frickin' blowing your world up and kicking you in the ass for, what they did to us during 9/11, but I don't see anyone trying to cancel him.
Well, his song, they're canceling him, but it's not working. His song was just announced over the last 3 days. He's now the number one downloaded song on iTunes.
Like I said,
he's gonna make millions off of this. Yeah.
Because people are real sick of the woke culture. They're real sick of the cancel culture. And people now, if someone's getting canceled, people just hop on the bandwagon and say, I'm against it. And they're going to go like it and buy it and do whatever, go see it. And I think that's why Sound of Freedom is so popular right now. On top of being a strong subject matter and apparently a good movie. We haven't seen it, but I think people are seeing it because the left are trying to cancel it. And usually if the left are trying to cancel it, there's a reason why they're trying to cancel it. And it's usually because it's true.
I'm an NWA fan. I listen to NWA all the time. Man, my parents didn't know I listened to NWA. I love NWA. I listen to Eazy-E. I listen to Ice-T, Kool Moe Dee, KRS-One, Fab Five Freddy, Slick Rick. Third Base, Digital Underground, the DOC, Dre. I listen to it all. I love rap music. And I've always loved rap. Now, I'm not talking this crap that's out of date. This mumble rap. I mean, that bullshit, that stuff's got to go. But old school gangster rap or knowledge rap, I love. Like, I'm a big fan of that. And I've always been a fan of that. And I'll wax intellects with you about it all the time. But as I supported that music, I support this, even though once again, this is nothing like that. This is not even close to NWA. It's just easy for people to say because NWA is one of the most controversial albums. I mean, but people don't, really focus on Two Live Crew, which was 10 times worse than NWA. I mean, the stuff that they talked about looked like a Hunter Biden laptop movie. I mean, 2 Live Crew. Oh my gosh. I listen to 2 Short and 2 Live Crew all the time. And it was horrible. This song is just saying, stay the hell out of our town if you're going to bring that noise here. We don't want it. Now, the interesting thing is these big cities, they may pretend that they don't need the rural areas, but you do. We provide you water. We provide you food. We provide you energy. We do the blue collar work. More importantly, we frequent and visit your cities, and you need us for tourism. Small towns don't need you. We will do just fine on our own, and we'll never be rich. We'll never have high rises. We'll never have 3 cars in the driveway. But we'll survive on our own. And people, and especially liberals, have this attitude, this elitist attitude that somehow people are stupid from the South or people stupid from Midwest because of this rich white elitist attitude that they've gotten in their yuppie mobiles and everything else. But for the party that calls us the uneducated party, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing this display of intelligence that's just awe-inspiring. What I'm seeing is petty nonsense coming from the left, not believing in science.
I asked her if she heard it because she's a country fan.
Yeah, okay, get over here.
And
get her over here.
Yeah, so I asked
Sit
her
her
if she
down.
had a take.
Go sit down and have a take. So this is my daughter. Holy crap. This is my daughter, Hayden. She has a take. She has an opinion. And we talked about it earlier today, but she came in and said, I have an opinion. I want to talk. Are you beautiful enough? Will you hurry up?
I'm working.
Okay, you're working.
I'm beautifying.
Oh, you're beautifying. I'm like, you're working. Wait a second, young lady. We need to have a talk. Hayden, introduce yourself to everybody, please.
Hi, I'm Hayden. I'm his daughter.
How old?
Daughter. I'm 13.
13 years old.
13.
All right. You have an opinion?
I guess.
Well, you're the one who sat down. Don't play aloof like you didn't want to be in the chair.
No, Mom just said,
Do you have a take? If you don't have a take, then don't say it.
I don't know. I don't know what we're doing.
Okay, so let me first of all, you need to talk on the mic. What
Okay,
are you doing
hi.
playing with your eye?
Mascara got in my eye.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. It happens all the time. It's
All right,
normal.
we'll face the mic.
Okay, hi.
Okay, now listen. Jason Aldean, the video you saw, you had a big, heavy opinion earlier today about it and what you thought. Did you want to express it with everybody?
I did? I don't remember
Get out of
having
the chair.
an opinion.
Get out of the chair. You're off the show.
Okay.
You're fired. You're fired.
No, I didn't. You just said sure. No, you said.
She had a great take today. It was awesome. We watched it and she told me, yeah, you did. Get out of here. Leave.
Goodness, child.
So Hayden's take, which I'll tell you what she said. She said, this is what Democrats do. They go ahead and put on their music and their songs and whatever. And if this was,
Now I remember.
Now I remember. Get out of the chair, Liv. Here, she's back.
my
See,
goodness.
you are just a scatterbrain young lady.
I didn't know we were talking about.
Okay, what was the text I just sent?
Just
Okay, I'm
Chase
slow.
Aldean's
I'm
song,
slow.
you have
Leave
a
me
take?
alone. Okay, hi. I remember this now.
pull your shirt up, young lady. All right, now tell everybody what your take is, sweetheart.
Okay, so what I said was that if Taylor Swift or a big celebrity made this song, no one would have cared. No one would have had any opinions on it. But it just happens to be Jason Aldean, who is a Republican and has made it very clear he is a Republican. It just happens to be him who made the song. And now everyone's going at him and trying to cancel him because he is a Republican. But if Taylor Swift or Harry Styles or someone like that would have made this song, no one would have cared because they purposely stay out of politics and they don't tell people if they're left or right or Republican or liberal or Democrat. No one really knows what they stand for. So if they would have made this song and they're super famous, no one would have cared. But it happens to be Jason Aldean, who's not the biggest country star, and he has made it clear he is on the right. So
His song just went #1 most downloaded song in America, so he's going to make a killing off of this.
Oh, yeah.
Hayden, find a shirt that fits.
Sorry, this is blue.
It's okay. It's appropriate when you're not live on my show
Yeah.
and you're not 13 years old.
Well, I am 13.
I said when you're not 13, which means that you need to be older, and 36 comes to mind, so careful. Don't give me that look.
Giving you a look. Ow.
What? Do you need to go fix this, or can I ask a couple questions?
It's fine. You can ask questions.
Can I start calling you One-Eyed Willie? Goonies. Goonies.
Oh.
Okay. So, you had a chance to hear this song. What are your thoughts on Jason Aldean?
I actually used to be like literally the biggest fan of Jason Aldean ever. I used to be super big into country, and I'm like, I still am. I'm more into like Taylor Swift and stuff now, but he was like number one on my playlist. I listen to him every single day. Carrie Underwood and Jason Aldean were number one, and so when I heard that he's trying to be canceled, I was like, wait, what? And then I listened to the song. I was like, why is he being canceled for this? This is literal facts against. There are so many songs of rappers talking about violence and killing people and rape and stuff like this, and they don't get canceled, but one person says facts who happens to be a white male Republican, and they're trying to cancel him. When black male rappers or black female rappers or just rappers in general talk about so many more things that are such violence and completely disgusting things. Like, there are so many songs that are awful out there, and they don't get canceled. In fact, they get number one on Spotify charts and make millions of dollars off of. So
one of the things, Hayden, that you said that kind of threw me off is that Taylor Swift doesn't wax political. She does. Oh, yes, she does. She's very liberal, and she makes it very well known she is, but what she doesn't do is sing about it. But see, it's because it's approved, right? Carrie Underwood, extremely liberal. You take a look at Garth Brooks. You take a look at Trisha Yearwood. You take a look at Faith Hill and Tim McGraw are gun grabbers, even though they made Yosemite. I mean, Nashville, Tennessee, where the Country Music Hall of Fame is, and one of the largest areas for country music, is extremely liberal, huge liberal. In fact, Ryan Weaver has kind of been excommunicated from there because he is a conservative voice, just like Jason Aldean. And now they're going to do this to Jason too. In your opinion, when you watch a movie or you listen to music, and I know you love Taylor Swift, and do you care about their politics or just want to listen to their music? And do you listen
I don't really care. That's the thing. I've never really cared about politics and stuff. Like, I've had an opinion on it, but I don't like care about it that much. It's kind of just like, oh, well, they voted for Joe Biden, they're liberal. I don't care, their music's good. I don't want to think about that. I don't know them as a person. I know them for their acting or their music. I don't care. It's not like I'm not going to stop listening to someone or judge someone because they have their own political opinions. It's like, if you stop listening to someone or stop acting or stop watching someone, or just even they might be one of the best voices or one of the best actors out there, and you stop watching or listening to them because of their politics, you're trying to be what you don't want to be, but you're trying to do it in the part where you're the victim, and that's like, just I've never really cared about that.
Fair enough. I'm a Swiftie. I don't like her politics.
Same.
I'm a Swiftie. I like Taylor Swift's music, and I like Katy Perry sometimes, and I'll listen to Jason Aldean. I'll listen to Tchaikovsky. I mean, geez, Tchaikovsky wrote it based on a revolution and overthrowing the government, for God's sakes. I mean, you don't get any more political than that. And you're right, Pink, and I don't care. I will watch Alec Baldwin and Hunt for Red October, but it doesn't mean I have to idolize him. I don't have to like these people. But to take Jason Aldean and remove him from country music television when he's not going to be anywhere else, I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm not sure what they're thinking. Hayden, thank you for your opinion. I love you, and you're awesome.
All right.
Say goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Get a shirt that fits.
This is a very comfortable shirt.
Comfortability and
I wasn't expecting to go live with like 380,000 people tonight.
Love you.
Wish it was 380.
I wish it was 380,000 tonight. I mean, 30,000. We'll see. Love you, Haiti. All right. That's my daughter, Hayden. She has an opinion. I love her mind. I love the way she works.
The only person that can talk more than you.
Is there a reason why I'm your target?
No, you just you talk, and your daughter talks just like you.
She goes in circles a little bit too much.
Yeah.
She is shy. Hayden? No.
What?
Are you
Who?
kidding me? No. Hayden is not shy at all.
No, she lives on the stage to act.
No, she's not shy. And at the end of the she'll play coy and she'll pretend she's not shy. Anyway, folks.
Someone had mentioned my shirt I'm wearing. Yes, it is sold on the Don't Unfriend Me site.
Yeah, it's on the Don't Unfriend Me site. TheDumbShow.com. Go there, get 10% by using code DUM10.
It's one of my favorite shirts.
Yeah. The Punisher design.
With the bow. I told him to put the bow on it.
I do all the designs for the shirts. They're all made by moi. Here you go.
Someone said she's your twin.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
None of my children look like me.
Wait, Renee said something. Hold on, Renee said guess not. Hold on.
It's an answer to somebody else.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if it was for me. But anyway, yeah, Hayden's not shy in the least. In fact, I wish she was more shy. She's got a nice group of friends now, and she's very happy. She's been, Hayden! Hold on. I forgot to ask her something. It's 8:49, and she skipped her workout. She skipped her workout. She's been working out, and I've been trying to hold her accountable to it. So let me see. Did you work out?
No, not yet.
When are you going to do that?
In a few.
You sure?
Yeah. What time is it?
8:49.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I am.
What are you going to do tonight?
Just probably run for a few and then do something.
Why don't you run for 20 and call it good?
Okay.
Love
Is
you.
your brother going to work out?
Hey, just do 20, no weights, nothing else.
All right.
Did you do your full run last night?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, go have fun. Good job. All right, so listen, Jason Aldean, Small Town. Go take a listen to it. It's a great song. But here's something that my wife is not gonna like, because she was a fan of both of these people, and I'm. Garth Brooks was in the news because he essentially called Republicans a bunch of idiots, and said that, the boycott on Bud Light's stupid. And I don't necessarily agree with the boycott on Bud Light. I think because some stupid marketer did something that was completely dumb, do we need to have Bud Light go out of business forever? I don't know about that. I
think it was more of a dumb decision to make Kaepernick the man of the year for Nike than Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light.
Right. Or giving the woman of the year to
a freaking man.
A man that shit's stupid. Bud Light, it wasn't even a national program. I mean, they literally made a can of beer with Dylan's face. And I understand people are pissed. Whatever. I don't care. I really don't want to talk about beer. But Garth Brooks decided to. And, I'm going to be honest with you. Garth Brooks, who really was a very strong advocate of, kind of the rural community and cowboys and everything else. This guy's just basically made his millions. I mean, he's wearing a Spartan logo shirt, for gosh sakes.
He wanted to be like heavy metal. That's what he wanted to be. And he couldn't hack it in heavy metal and rock and roll. So he went to country.
I'll be honest with you. The day that I walked away from Garth Brooks was the day that I saw him smash a $3,000 Takamine guitar on stage. Screw him. I mean, give that to charity. Sign it and give it to somebody in the front row. Don't smash a $3,000 Takamine guitar. I didn't agree with it when Ace Frehley did it. I didn't agree when Randy Rhoads did it. And I certainly don't agree when Garth Brooks does it. And, this guy is not the moral compass for America. Cheated on his wife. He's had a lot of issues. I'm not going to go ahead and drag him for that. But this is just stupid. This is why celebrities need to stay out of politics. Olivia, listen to this.
We stand with Ukraine, especially the refugees.
There's a global initiative, and of course, supplies and aid is already spread thin. And this is where you come in. We need your help. We need you to donate.
Yeah, I mean, we always ask for love and prayers. Please keep doing that. But we're also going to ask you, dig in your pockets. Be part of the greatest global relief plan mankind has ever seen.
Everybody deserves dignity. Everybody deserves a roof over their head to feel safe. You can be a part of that.
Yeah, amen. So join us, won't you? Stand up for love.
Stand up for mankind.
Stand up for Ukraine.
Aye.
Stand up for Ukraine.
Aye.
up for Ukraine.
How about stand up for veterans?
Dude,
or stand up for homelessness and the homeless people that all the tent cities around? How about stand up for abortion and aborted children and going against it? How about that? Why stand up? I understand what's happening in Ukraine sucks, but it's not our country. It's not our problem. And don't take me as insensitive, but it's not. And why do you know we could solve the homeless problem with the amount of billions of dollars we send to Ukraine? We could solve it, and they're not. I'm sorry. I'm America first.
No, keep going.
All America first. Help our homeless. Help our veterans. Help our abandoned children. I mean, if we would, a lot of aborted babies are mothers who feel lost and don't know what to do, and so support them so they'll have the baby and maybe give it up for adoption. I mean, just dumb.
Well, here's an interesting thing is that I'm going to show you this video and just take a look at this and just describe it in your head, and then I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
So that, what does that look like to you, Liv?
Looks like a grocery store, maybe a Costco. I know it's not a Costco, but it's got that Costco vibe because it's really big. And of course, it wouldn't be a grocery store without a child crying somewhere.
Right, but a little like almost like a Whole Foods type of.
Yeah, it's got that feel.
Yeah, that's Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So listen, people think Ukraine is some cesspool and it's a shithole, and there are certainly parts that are, but this is a civilized country. For people to make it seem like somehow that there's no money in Ukraine and, the refugees are not being taken care of, and there's not, where you have Red Cross and you have UN assistance and you have food drives and you have shelter being given to the refugees. This is ridiculous. The money isn't going for that. It's going for weapons. That's where the bulk of the money is going. It is simply just about weapons.
It's not even going to the people.
There are plenty of places in Ukraine that are horrible to live in. I'm not saying that. But you have to understand is that this is BAU, business as usual. There's nightclubs that are open. There are grocery stores that are open. Nobody's dropping down and getting underneath tables because of bombs going off. This whole thing, I'm not saying it's not bad. I'm not saying there's not conflict. I'm not saying that it's not dangerous outside the cities. But for people to pretend that this is Beirut or Lebanon or the Congo, it's really ridiculous. Ukraine has an incredible economy. They have incredible amount of food, energy, and just about everything else. Outside of Venezuela, they're one of the most lucrative areas and countries in the world. They're ranked number 4 for wheat exports. They're an incredibly prosperous nation. They have free water moving through the country itself for irrigation, something Russia does not have. We don't need to be there. We don't need to send our troops there. We're sending them billions of dollars. And more importantly, people are trying to put food on their table here. If Garth Brooks wants to give his own money to Ukraine, then just you do it. You're a multimillionaire. Isn't that Trisha Yearwood, Liv?
That is Trisha. That's who he cheated on his wife with. They went on tour together.
Dude, you guys got sin money, man. You got screw around money. Why are you asking everyday people to donate to Ukraine? Aren't there plenty of other things that we should be donating to make Liv's point here?
How about you donate the amount of money in Smash guitars?
Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, just sell your Takamine guitars for 50%. And I understand you get these for free and they're no value to you, but this guy's a virtue signaling putz. And, I appreciate that he wrote Thunder Rolls. It's awesome that he has some great music, but overall, that to me, begging for for money from American citizens and trying to guilt people in that somehow that money is going to go for refugees when truly that money is already allocated, that the refugees that are fleeing to Poland are going to be taken care of. The ones who've left into Russia ultimately would not have made that move unless they felt that they could survive or have family there. Let's stop making this a humanitarian effort, and let's focus on that this is a war that we have decided to get involved from a proxy standpoint, that we're probably putting U.S. troops on the ground. We know we just increased 3,000 veterans to go into Poland and more than likely Ukraine. Can we stop pretending that this isn't a war? Can we stop pretending that we're not going to get involved? Because this is ultimately where we're going. And how do I know this? Because of history. Because all you need to do is look at the other conflicts, whether it be Vietnam, whether it be Laos, whether it be South Korea. You can look at the Congo. You can look at Bosnia Herzegovina. You can look at Syria. You look at Libya. You can look at Iraq. You can look at Kuwait. I mean, Afghanistan. Folks, I mean, can't you tell when you nation build and you run proxy wars that ultimately it leads to either our allies or our own country getting involved? I feel for the Ukraine people. I do. I feel for anyone who is stricken by war. But if you really, truly cared, you would be focused on the tens of thousands that are being just bordering on mass genocide and extinction from African populace, for diamond smugglers. You're seeing the drug trade in South America. You're seeing this in poverty-stricken countries all over the world. Venezuelans eating out of garbage cans. I mean, can we stop pretending that the Ukraine is the number one hotspot in the world where we need to put all of our resources when we need to be focusing at home?
Kristen has the comment of the night.
Well, hold on. Brant has a comment. He wrote a paragraph, and I feel inclined to read it. Why don't you go ahead and say Kristen's first?
So Kristen said he also has friends in low places. I just thought that
that was mine. Come on, that was
clever.
When he did the Bud Light thing, I'm like, well, apparently he does have friends in low places. Okay, so somebody has something to write. Holy God, is it long? Dude. Oh my gosh. Look at you with your flag. Oh man, you're so virtuous. All right, let's read it. Brent says, Republicans aren't trying to help the poor get housing and help military vets on the street. They don't advocate for the social programs and actually fight against them. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this one line at a time. Do you have your Ukraine flag in your profile? I'm a little disappointed. I would expect more from you. Do better. Let's take it line by line. Republicans aren't trying to help the poor get housing. No, I don't think anyone is trying to get housing for the poor. That's usually a state and city problem. It's not necessarily funded by the federal government because everyone has different needs. Federal government provides dollars to the state, and the state allocate that as they see fit. If you look at homelessness in Republican-led states and cities, you can look at those numbers, and those numbers are relatively low. If you look at the bigger cities like Los Angeles, Baltimore, Maryland, Houston, the homeless rate is incredibly high due to soaring rental prices, not able to afford homes, jobs that don't meet the cost of living in these cities. But when you can go to a smaller town and find a 2-bedroom apartment for $325 a month, and you can, I'm not sure what you're asking. So if you want to talk about increased prices, if you want to talk about cost of living for homeless, maybe we should do something that is needed for the homeless more than anything. How about increasing the mental health awareness in this country? And nobody's proposing that. Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan were both responsible for closing mental health hospitals in the United States. And it's probably why we have a gun epidemic, is because that's the one sinew that ties these shootings together. Democrats say it's guns, but really it's mental health in this country. So let's go to your next line. And help military vets on the street. I disagree with you completely. Republicans have had the most pieces of legislation in the last 25 years under Trump's presidency. There were tax breaks given to separation and medical discounts, medical separation checks that were given to all veterans. I was one of them. I received over $5,000 that was taxed illegally for almost 20 some odd years, right, Liv? The check that we got from
Yeah.
Yeah, for my separation. My medical records were opened back up, and I was able to get an increased disability rating. The wait times at the VA stopped, and I was able to go see my own doctors without having to wait in line. I don't know what you're talking about. The VA was completely overhauled by Donald Trump and the administration. It's one of his legacies that he's given. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. Veteran Crisis Hotline 988 was instituted by Donald Trump, even though Joe Biden took credit for it. So I'm not sure what you're talking about there. They don't advocate for social programs and actually fight against them. No, that's not what they do. They don't fight against them. There's no legislation that fights against social programs. What are you talking about? WIC is still in place. Welfare is still in place. Food stamps are still in place. Social Security is still in place. Medicare is still in place. What they're talking about is reforming these programs because, unfortunately, yes, Democrats have borrowed against Social Security. I'm not sure if you've actually looked into it, but if you look at LBJ, who started the process of actually instituting loans against it and using T-bills and war bonds and open bonds to go ahead and leverage against programs like Social Security and Medicaid and bankrupted it into the future.
I got to pause you.
Why?
Calling guy.
No. Don't. No.
I'm asking him to come on.
No, I don't want him to come on the show yet. Okay. I want to address his comments. He decided to write a page and a half, so I'm gonna.
A different guy.
I don't care about him. So bro, you're talking about a program that will not be available for most Americans who are paying into it right now, and there needs to be either an age increase in Social Security and Medicare, or they need to go ahead and cease paying people and stop taking that money out of a younger generation and have them invest into their own medical accounts, savings accounts, or however they want to invest their money. But for you to sit here and say that Republicans want to stop Social Security, no, we want it to be around, and unfortunately, it's not going to be. So when people say it's not funded by the government, it is funded by the government. It's had a negative deficit. So is the USPS, and the Postal Service has had a negative deficit for the last 50 years. I mean, you can sit here and pretend that your taxes all go to roadways and bridges, but that's not what it's doing. It's most of your taxes are going to war and going to social programs. So Republicans want to have oversight and want to reform these things, and you should too. When you think money is wasted by things like Ukraine and maintaining a world stability, but even when we aren't fighting or helping in these kinds of efforts, they don't do those things anyway. I don't know what that means. They give the rich more tax breaks as they claim to be pro-life, ripping away school lunches. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about that. Federal government doesn't necessarily fund the schools. Although the schools can apply for certain funding that is out of state, most of it is done by taxes and local state revenue. So when you want to blame anybody, you can't go ahead and blame Republicans in Congress and the House and the Senate. You ultimately should blame the local municipalities. If you look at the inner cities who have some of the lowest ratings in schools, you can look at Houston, you can look at Ashburn, Virginia. These local non-big city schools are some of the best in the country. When you look at things like West Virginia, the reason why is the jobs. And you look at Oklahoma and you look at some of the lowest education across the land, it's because people don't have choices. You're funding these private schools or these public schools, which have been nothing but a failure. The public school system in this country is a complete abysmal failure, from the test scores to attendance to overall ensuring that kids aren't left behind and the attention that they deserve. It's been a failure. We're looking at vouchers. We're looking at having private schools. We're looking at incentivizing parents to do at-home education and giving them the funding and the taxes that they pay that are being wasted on these children. If I had $16,000 a year, if my wife had $16,000 a year per child, we could do amazing things with that. Unfortunately, what you're saying is you guys continue to fund public schools and waste money of the taxpayers, and you are doing the same thing over and over, which is not the definition of insanity. It's just the definition of really stupid. School lunches, advocating that schools are a giveaway, welfare is an entitlement, but refuse to raise the minimum wage. We've already raised the minimum wage. It was just raised to $15 an hour. Unfortunately, inflation from Joe Biden destroyed that. Cost of living went up, overall goods went up, and the actual valuation of the dollar went down almost 80% since that time. I'm not sure what you want, but I don't know what you're arguing except CNN talking points. Apparently, food, healthcare, and entitlement. So you're telling me we can't afford what we're currently doing now, but you want to go ahead and have healthcare paid for? You want to have entitlement paid for? You want to have college tuition? How much do you want taxes to be? Do you want any money of your own? Do you want to make any of your own decisions, or do you just want to hand your entire check over to the government? There are countries that have done that, and you can move there anytime you want and experience that. I've actually worked to free those countries from tyranny and socialism and Marxism. I don't know why you would want that unless you've never experienced it. I would recommend you go visit a country that is full-blown communist and socialist, and go see how that feels. Even with the short-sighted BS talking point of helping Ukraine is somehow wrong, these programs are constantly ignored that would actually help our own instead of giving back to the rich and powerful. It's interesting you talk about the tax cuts that were given back to the rich. You don't mention that the 16 tax brackets up into $2.5 million all received lower taxes and received a refund. You don't mention that. Why do you guys keep saying it's for the rich? Every tax bracket received a deduction and received extra deductions and had lower taxes than under Obama and Biden combined. Please explain to me why you guys say this. Have you actually looked at the numbers? Did you look at them? Did you look what happened to the US dollar? Did you see what happened to the average American's income during this tax season versus last? Have you seen that the average American is $7,500 poorer than they were under Donald Trump? Does that bother you? Do you know why you repeat the things you keep repeating, or do you just copy and paste them? It's about time there was a political overhaul, and Democrats are not the main problem. I didn't say Democrats are the main problem. You're the one saying Republicans are the main problem. Your entire premise is that Republicans are the problem. I'm here to tell you that Democrats and Republicans are the same shit of a different pile. Liberals aren't the issue. Liberalism and classic liberalism is the solution to what we're currently under, but your party doesn't recognize any of that, and my party doesn't either. We're not conservative anymore. We're not frugal. We spend just as much as the liberals. But for you to sit here and espouse that it's all Republicans' fault, which is exactly what you did, undercuts your entire argument when you end the sentence that the Democrats aren't the problem when they most assuredly are. Thanks for playing. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. But if you would like to go ahead and have a further conversation, you can call in the show, which will provide you the link right now. I have other people that I need to attend to. But thank you for writing a diatribe. It was fun, to say the least. Which one?
Never mind. He's gone. I banned him.
What did he say?
I told everyone he was on Rumble, and the first thing he said was, Sarah, Trump is going to get...
Sarah.
Yeah, whatever. Is going to get banned or whatever, blah, blah. So I told everyone on Rumble, I'm like, just ignore him. He's trying to get a rise out of us. Just completely ignore him. Don't say anything.
Right.
And he kept saying the same thing over and over again, and... until he was like, he's like, is this one of those stupid MAGA podcasts? And, I'm like, whatever. I'm like, ignore him. And then he decided to post a link to another podcast and banned him immediately.
All right. So that's fine. I don't care about any of that. My whole point is I appreciate your comments, brother. I disagree with most of what you've said. I think, unfortunately, what you're saying is that government is the problem. That's what you're saying, right? And ultimately, in all of these things, government needs to get out of the way of the free market. But that's not what you're advocating for. You're advocating for higher taxes. You're advocating for more government, more influence. And government's the problem. If you want to stimulate the economy, have the free market do the job. I mean, anyone actually think that the free market is a bad thing compared to privatized industry? That government-run healthcare may work, and it does, because Medicare is the largest government-run healthcare in the world, and it's very successful for a certain demographic and age group, but that's because it's funded by people who don't take advantage of it. And most people only get to take advantage of Social Security and healthcare for 5 years on average. 65 years of age, they qualify for some of these programs. It's not indicative of an entire country getting healthcare when we have 332 million, because the truth of it really comes down to that we don't have as many people paying taxes as you would think. In fact, half the country doesn't pay any at all because either they're too young, too old, or retired, or disabled and unable to work.
Or illegal.
Or they actually feed off the government. About 50% of our population are the ones who are taxed. So when you sit here and say that the rich need to pay their fair share, my friend, without the billionaires, this country would go broke. We don't make anything. We don't subsidize anything. We simply collect taxes. And revenue for us in the United States is raising taxes. Losing revenue is lowering taxes. So if you're going to sit here and advocate for that, which is fine, you can do that. Most liberals do. Please make it make sense how punishing billionaires even more so they take their business overseas or they divest their money into Ireland or somewhere else with a lower tax rate helps Americans. I mean, haven't we learned that lesson before under Obama? When all of these major manufacturing jobs left, the reason why they came back has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It has everything to do with Donald Trump and giving those tax breaks and incentives. I understand you guys hate billionaires. But without them, we would be having in line for bread soup. And unfortunately, I disagree with you. Russia learned that lesson. Vietnam learned that lesson. Laos, Cambodia, Venezuela. We can sit here and talk about it all day long. Communist countries have learned that taxing people into prosperity is a misnomer, and it's never happened successfully. So now that we've done that, did he ever say anything else, Liv?
No, he posted the link to another podcast.
No, I'm talking about the guy I talked to for the whole.
I don't even know his name.
Oh.
So I haven't seen anything else. I didn't even see his original comment. You get comments that I can't see sometimes, so I don't even know who it was.
Yeah. So anyway, enough of that. I've addressed that one. Anyone else has anything, please reach out. And you know what? I'm calm. I'm not upset. I'm not insulting the guy. I just thought his rainbow profile pic was interesting with the LGBTQISP 2 spirit logos on the top. All right. Next thing we're going to do, someone asked if this is a MAGA podcast. I don't know what that means. So I have no idea.
He's gone, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, that sucks. I wish he would have retorted. But that's the problem is these guys come in here and they drop one-liners and then, you know, I take the time to actually reply to them and then they pop smoke because they don't have an answer. Folks, this just released before the show. I want to show it to you. Olivia, I want you to take a look at this. This has to do with Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Joe Biden, I've got video of this, of Joe Biden saying it 20 times. We'll watch the whole thing and then I'll bring this in. But I did a recording and got this for you, which shows all the times that he has said that Hunter Biden and him did not discuss business deals with CFEC, with Burisma, with any of the payouts, money from China. Here it is, all of it. Listen.
I have never discussed with my
I was going to leave at 9. I'm going to do 9:30.
son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period. And what I will do is the same thing we did in our administration. There will be an absolute wall between personal and private and the government. There wasn't any hint of scandal at all when we were there, and I'll impose the same kind of strict rules. That's why I never talk with my son or my brother or anyone else, even distant family, about their business interests, period.
How many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
And so how do you know?
So this is where I was like, oh, shit. And I'm like, motherfucker, because my camera switched and I lost the recording. So I think this one does the whole thing. Here we go.
Have you ever spoken to your son
You saw
about
me
his
get up,
overseas...
and I was like, because it's like 20 minutes, because I have to record through my program. And unfortunately, the camera switched, and then I got to re-record the whole thing. I was pissed. I think I said a naughty word.
Business dealing.
I think I heard it.
Yeah, I was like, mother...
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
And so how do you know?
Here's what I know. I know Trump deserves to be investigated.
And no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars. Takes out billions of dollars to manage. He makes millions of dollars. And also, while we're at it, why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do with Burisma to deserve $183,000?
None of that is true. Let him answer.
None of that is true.
Oh, really? He didn't get $3.5 million?
Mr. President,
Mr.
President, please.
Totally discredited. Totally discredited.
Talking about Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're talking about...
I don't know Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. Once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
that is simply
and various
not
other places.
True.
Does the president still maintain that he never spoke with his son about his business dealings? And given
Just by the way, Hunter Biden was not dishonorably discharged. It was other than honorable, which is the same damn thing. They greased the wheels to get him in. He was accepted. It is a very rare thing. They used to call it Mustang, where you would be an enlisted person and then move to an officer ranking. He was given an officer ranking based upon experiential things. They haven't done that since World War II. Ultimately, they would bring in businessmen, economic advisors, professors, and give them a higher ranking in WW2 and give them a higher commission. This is what they did for him. His father greased the wheels. He mucked it up within the first 6 months. He did drugs. He did some other things, and he ultimately was other than honorable, where every other person would have got a dishonorable discharge. So Donald Trump's right in spirit, but he didn't explain it very well.
And given this reporting on Eric Schwerin, does he also say that he has never spoken to his son's business partners about his son's business dealings?
He maintains his same statements that he's made in the past. I would say, I know you're referring to Waves records that were released more than 10 years ago. I really don't have more detail or information on them. I'd note that there was a gap when Waves records were not released, but I don't have more information about visits from more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, you do.
If Hunter Biden wasn't the president's son, would he have invited someone who had just reached a plea agreement with federal prosecutors 2 days earlier?
A couple of things. Again, that's his son. He's a family member. It is not uncommon for family members to attend events at the White House.
Not a reasonable question to ask whether the President of the United States was involved, as this message seems to suggest, in some sort of a coercive conversation for business dealings by his son. Is that something, if he wasn't, then maybe you should tell us.
Yes or no, was the president involved in the shakedown?
I just answered the question by telling you my colleagues at the White House Counsel has dealt with this, and I would refer you to them.
First, does this not undermine the president's claim during the 2020 campaign and the reaffirmations of that claim by his 2 press secretaries since then, that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with him?
No, and I'm not going to comment further on this.
We're good.
I'm not. James, let me save you some. Let me save you some breath. If you're going to ask about this, I am not addressing. I know you do more than I'd like you to have. I am not going to address this issue from this podium. I'm just not going to do it.
All right.
I'm not going to do
it. We've all seen this. So after putting this together, this is what came out of the hearing. And nobody's really blowing this up. This should be everywhere. I mean, if you have not went and shared this for me, folks, please go out and share this and get this out there, because I think this is damning evidence. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Watch this. Joe Biden lies? No, doesn't happen. Of course he didn't talk to Hunter Biden. His son did his business dealings unbeknownst to his father. That's what we've been hearing from Jen Psaki, from KJP, from the press secretaries, from Secretary of State when he was in the debates with Trump, when he's on the White House lawn, when he's getting in Marine One, Air Force One. No, he's had no idea. Listen to the lie. Here it is.
Have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
And so how do you know?
Here's what I know. I know Trump deserves to be investigated.
And you testified that he said that Hunter told his dad, according to Rob Walker, quote, "I may be trying to start a company or try to do something with these guys." Now, let me ask you something. That doesn't sound much like Joe Biden was involved in whatever Hunter Biden was doing with the CEFC if Hunter Biden is telling him that he's trying to do business with them, does it?
No, but it does show that he told his father he was trying to do business.
Oh, fuck.
And he was
okay, well, that is true. Hunter Biden does try to do business. That's correct.
You can find that video on the main page and Don't Unfriend Me page. Please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, do all that. We try to post stuff like that all the time, keep you informed. Listen, any liberal tells you that Hunter Biden's not important. That tells you right there. Biden knew about his business dealings. We're going to find out he was the big guy. You're not going to see anything while Biden's president. None of this is going to pan out. He's not going to be impeached. Republicans are not going to do that and give him a favorability bump. But the day that he leaves office, whether that be in 2024 or 2028, God forbid, or before that, this guy is going to get destroyed. He is going to be under investigation just like Trump. Democrats have changed the face of political hit jobs forever. It's not going to be an October surprise. It's not going to be a press release or some witness on the 7th hour. It is going to be now criminally going after your political opponent. This is what they've created. We have turned into a third world country as far as this. This is not the way America runs. This is not the way that we are supposed to debate in the United States. But alas, we have it from the Democrats and the Republicans now using the law to discredit and destroy your political opponent. Liv, what are your thoughts?
It's very frustrating. And you know, like you said, nothing's going to happen while he's in office. So I'm just going to bide my time until he's out and pray to God he doesn't get reelected.
Folks, it's frustrating. We know it's frustrating. It's frustrating us too. We don't want to see this type of stuff. We want our government to represent the people, but this is not what we have right now. Our government does not represent the people. This is on both sides ridiculous. Marjorie Taylor Greene went ahead and showed photographs of Hunter getting a blowjob today, and it was blacked out. And my whole point is we understand, and that's a shock and awe tactic. We understand that Hunter Biden's a douchebag. Hunter Biden isn't the target. The target is we want representatives who actually represent their constituents. Isn't that what we're looking for? Don't we want a government that's held accountable? Won't we want a government that doesn't interfere with our lives? Should be the focus. I don't care about any of this noise. What I'm asking you to do is that if the president of the United States lied about his business dealings, he needs to be investigated. There needs to be a special counsel. He needs to be removed from office, period. And whether that's Trump or Biden, of course. But to have 72 indictments and charges put against Trump is ridiculous. And Georgia, this whole election interference, that isn't even haven't dropped yet. They're going to hit him now on January 6th. They're going to actually hit him for several things. Here's the list. I got it for you. Why? Well, because I care about you. Here's the list. Let's see if I can find it. Liv, just so you're aware too. Here it is. They're going to charge him with 18 U.S.C. 371, conspiracy to defraud the U.S. when two or more people conspire either to commit any offense against the United States or to defraud the United States or any agency thereof in any manner or any purpose. They're going to hit him with 242 U.S. Code, deprivation of rights under the color of law, makes it a crime for a person acting under color of any law to willfully deprive a person or a right or a privilege protected by the Constitution and laws of the United States. And Code 1512, tampering with a witness, prohibits tampering with a witness, victims, or informants in a legal case with the intent to obstruct justice. It makes it a crime to engage in actions such as intimidation, retaliation, or bribery to hinder the communication of information, cooperation with law enforcement or judicial systems. Folks, they're going after him under the 14th Amendment. Now, this is the guys that the Democrats always use. They use the 14th Amendment to their advantage. The right to privacy, they say, is attached to abortion. They go ahead and attach the 14th Amendment to Obamacare and taxation and penalization of people with an unconstitutional tax and mandate. They're now going to go ahead and tie the 14th Amendment to Donald Trump when it comes to having him not be able to run for office again and disqualifying him from running for president. And if he is guilty of these crimes, fine, great, I don't care. The point is, this is all politically staged. He may be responsible. He may be guilty of these things, but it's being done right before the election on purpose. So it is a constant trickle, 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 and drop, drop, drop of case against case. It's just like Hillary Clinton with the emails. Just this drip, drip, drip is constantly going to destroy his presidency, and they are going to go through Amendment 14 to do that. Liv, any thoughts on particularly that they're coming after him for insurrection or seditious behavior or anything else? Do you think that the left is scared of Donald Trump?
Yes.
Why?
Because in his first term, he can't be bribed, and they can't own him, and he doesn't care about the big money, and he was trying to get rid of the swamp, and something tells me he had dirt on somebody, and he was going to do something. And they're scared. That's the only reason they would be acting like this. They're scared.
See, I believe that Donald Trump has done some things that he needs to be held accountable for. But I'll say that on this show. I really do believe that. But there's a precedent that they're setting. And the oath of office to the presidency comes with a certain level of anonymity and protection from legal attacks and retribution in order to sway the presidency. And that's why they're really kind of omnipotent, unless they're impeached and then charges are filed and then they are removed from office. I do believe that they don't want Donald Trump on there. And I don't know if it's scared. I believe that this uniparty, which is inside the Washington, D.C. government that we currently have, maybe not so much at the state level, because I don't know if it goes down that far, but this uniparty where there's these relationships with people like Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and some of the worst parts of the Democratic Party, is that this is a game.
You mean Republican Party?
Yeah, whatever. And I do believe that there is an effort to quash not the far right and not the far left, but actually the moderates, the people who are not disenfranchised with the government, the people who still believe that this can work, that it benefits them to draw party lines, and that the United States ultimately is just a big game of Monopoly. And I do believe that Republicans are going in their corner and leftists are going in their corner, and they're simply saying that this is your portion of America, this is our portion of America, and this whole effort is simply to divide power amongst both parties, which is where this uniparty philosophy comes from. The evidence against Donald Trump, there is a lot, and some of these things are completely fictitious and just added on and bolted on in order to make it look worse than it is. But there are some very serious concerns with obstruction, and there should be. But Joe Biden, on the other hand, there is a plethora of evidence of money and bribes being taken from the Chinese Communist Party, money being filtered in from Russia, money filtered in from Ukraine, money filtered in from Iran. And Joe Biden was complicit in these things, and nobody cares. I'm very interested to see if somehow Donald Trump steers clear of this. And I want to be crystal clear. Donald Trump is not going to prison. I can sit here and talk to you about that with all conviction in my heart and soul. He's not going to prison. He is going to be charged and sentenced for some of these things. And you better wrap your head around that right now. They're going to get him with obstruction. I'm just telling you right now. I don't know if they're going to get him on sedition and insurrection, all that crap, or anything else that you've seen. But I do believe he's guilty of obstruction. And you can sit here, oh, Matt, how dare you? He's not guilty of anything. You're naive. You're just as bad as the people that say Joe Biden is free of all wrongdoing. That's ridiculous. Donald Trump has pushed the boundaries of his stubbornness to the limit that it's gotten him in trouble. Now, did I say all of the things that he's done? No. Did I say that he is responsible for January 6th? No. Did I say he's responsible for supposedly asking for ballots in Georgia? No. But I do believe his reaction to some of these things has been ill-advised. And the problem is that he rose to the bait. He has, instead of trying to be a little magnanimous and letting these lawyers do their job, he has decided to open his mouth, which has gotten him in trouble. So will he go to jail? No. Do I think that he'll be fined heavily? Yes. Do I believe that he may not be able to run for president based on what the Democrats do? Yeah, I do. I think it's a very real possibility. That's why they're doing it. We have to stop dividing against each other, and we have to realize that we're not the problem. This whole thing, this left and right mentality is ridiculously stupid. I know plenty of Democrats, and they're not evil people, and I know plenty of Republicans, and they're not evil people. This lie that somehow we have to emulate what our politicians do with hating each other and clawing and ripping each other apart is ludicrous. Liv, we're going to go. Last minute, last thought. You get your minute. Go ahead.
I don't know. Usually I say everything on the show. I'm
Yeah,
not
but-
I'm not one of those people that can just be put on the spot and say something. I'm just
Oh,
never
really?
done that.
Oh, really?
No.
I'm going to pee on the toilet seat and see how that goes.
Yeah, well, that's a totally different story. You peeing on the toilet seat, me sitting down in it. Yeah, that's no fun. I'll say something about that.
Yeah, for
Plus,
gay-
my allergies are killing me. I feel like I got sandpaper in my eyes.
Well, let's
right
go.
now.
Let's do it.
I'm
Listen, folks,
dying.
I want to say I appreciate everybody who joined the Don't Unfriend Me show tonight. Do me a favor, stop on by the Dumb Show at thedumbshow.com. I think there's a lot of questions. I think the Republicans are embarrassing themselves, and I think the Democrats are embarrassing themselves. I think there needs to be a unilateral effort to get to the truth or to call a ceasefire. It needs to happen. We can't keep going like this because ultimately it will lead to one thing, civil war. And I said this during January 6th. I told people not to go down there. And Olivia remembers, I said, don't do it. Don't go down there. I'm getting warnings from Secret Service friends and Capitol Police friends. Don't go down there. Don't do this. You guys go down there, a black person's going to get shot, and then a white person's going to get shot, and we're going to have race riots. Don't do it. That is what we are in America very close to, is two people dying at very inopportune moments. Okay, Carrie says, to get him for January 6th, they're now indicting state alternate electors. Michigan did this, and Georgia will be in August. Okay. Carrie, do you want me to tell you, or do you just want me to just let you write that and then not challenge your thought process? Because I got your email this morning, and you're wrong. So tell me, do you just want me to let it fly, or do you want me to actually tell you why you're wrong? So let me know. And by the way, I've looked at Hawaii in 1960, JFK versus Nixon. I don't have to go back that far. I can look at 2016, where Republicans or Democrats did it, and I'll show it to you right now. But more importantly, I can tell you why that's wrong. But let me just play this for you, real quick. I know you got to go, Liv.
Well, I had one question.
Go ahead.
Alexander wants to know, do we ship internationally yet?
I think you can go to the site and international's there. It's just extremely expensive. We do Canada. We do international, yes.
Okay. There you go, Alexander.
Here's the thing that you need to know, and I'll just show it to you. This is 2016. And anytime, if anybody wants this, let me know. I was going to do a video on this tonight, but watch this. This will make you sick. Here it is.
Republican members of the Electoral College, this message is for you. As you know, our founding fathers built the Electoral College to safeguard the American people from the dangers of a demagogue and to ensure that the presidency only goes to someone who is to an eminent degree endowed with the requisite qualifications.
An eminent degree. Someone who is highly qualified for the job.
The Electoral College was created specifically to prevent an unfit candidate from becoming president.
There are 538 members of the Electoral College. You
and just 36 other conscientious Republican electors could make a difference.
By voting your conscience on December 19th.
And thereby shaping the future of our nation.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton.
As you know, the Constitution gives electors the right to vote for any eligible person.
Any eligible person, no matter which party they belong to.
But it should certainly be someone you consider especially competent.
Especially competent to serve as President of the United States of America.
By voting your conscience, you and other brave Republican electors can give the House of Representatives the option to select a qualified candidate for the presidency.
I stand with you.
I stand with you.
I stand with you.
See, Carrie,
only if you vote for Hillary
Carrie, you're
Clinton.
not listening. See, Carrie, you have all the evidence you need to defend Donald Trump right now, but you're not hearing it. That is Hollywood propaganda. You're not listening. This is the problem. You're reacting and you're not listening. Listen to what they're saying and then make an argument.
I stand with you in support and solidarity with conservatives, independents, and liberals.
And all citizens of the United States.
The American people trust that your voice speaks for us all.
And that you will make yourself heard through the constitutional responsibility granted to you by Alexander Hamilton himself.
Yeah, the Federalist. Give me a fucking
What is evident is that Donald Trump lacks more than the qualifications to be president.
He lacks the necessary stability.
and clearly the respect for the Constitution of our great nation.
You have position,
The authority
and the opportunity to go down in the books as an American hero.
who changed the course of history.
And you have my respect.
You have my respect.
You have my respect.
for your patriotism.
In service to the American people. Unite for America.
All right. So now let me tell
Only
you.
if
Hold
you
on.
vote Democrat.
No. Hold on. Let me tell you what you heard. There's no charges against those actors for insurrection. They are asking for the exact same thing that has been done in every single election since the dawn of time. The state electors have changed their vote. Does everyone understand that? They did it for Hillary Clinton. People actually were there to vote for Donald Trump, and they didn't. They changed their vote. People did listen to that message and change. It just wasn't enough to alter the election. The state electors can do that.
Which is totally wrong.
It doesn't matter. They can do that. And they have in every single election since the dawn of time. It always happens. Go look it up. Go look up and say variance in state electors versus what they were designed to do and what they were supposed to do. But if people want to actually alter their vote, they can. They are the representatives and they can do that. The difference is this. First of all, that, in my opinion, is absolutely seditious. Those actors should absolutely 100% should be held accountable for the same charges that they're bringing up against Donald Trump and others, because that is seditious conspiracy. You're telling people to alter their vote and misrepresent their constituents. That is absolutely, without obscurity, without any innuendo, that is interfering and trying to alter an election. 100%, right? I mean, that's the exact same thing. Okay, great. The only difference between the 16 electors in Michigan is that they falsified documents and falsified records. So, Carrie, you can sit here and say they're innocent. They weren't electors. They weren't alternate electors. They weren't verified and certified to do so. They altered and they changed and they falsified documents in order to do that. That is illegal. I don't have any sympathy or empathy for those people in any way, shape, or form. They broke the law. They need to be held accountable. And I hope they are. If they're found guilty in the court of law, they should be charged. No, they're not alternate electors. They are fake electors. They falsified paperwork. They weren't nominated to do so. They weren't asked to do so. They weren't going through the proper channels of legislation and assigned to do so. They were not representing anyone but their own self-interest. It's not the way this works. It's not the way this works. And anyone who supports what they did needs to have their head examined. Because I want you to consider and just take a breath that if that actually happened in 2016 and they all voted for Hillary Clinton, that would have been legal. It would have been contested, and the vote would have went back to the states, and the states would have amended, and they would have went ahead and voted for new electors, so it wouldn't have been successful. But I want you to imagine that those electors were contested by falsified paperwork, by people who were not supposed to be there, voted for Hillary Clinton, contested that election, and Hillary Clinton was your president. Would you be like, well, it's fair? No, you would not. So don't sit here and say it's okay for Donald Trump. Come on. You guys are looking so hard to find a stolen election that you are missing the most obvious things right in front of you. I know it. I just said it did. Carrie, this is why you and I can't talk. You don't listen. I already said it happened to Gore. I've said it's happened to every single election since the dawn of time. You're not listening. Those were state-selected electors. Period. Their job is to represent the constituents and the vote. What you're saying is the ones in Michigan were certified. They were not. They were not state electors. It was not their job. They falsified paperwork. They went in and misrepresented and had no authority to do anything of what they did. It is an absolute white-collar crime. And for you to sit here and pretend it's not is sickening. Pick up the phone. Once again, Carrie, call the show. Just call in. Why do you make me do this? Why do you refuse? Why do you even bring it up if you don't want to learn something? I adore you, but God, you frustrate the shit out of me, girl. Because you constantly say things and you want it to be true so bad you won't listen to fact. Because it would have been very simple for you to say, Matt, what do you think about the state electors? And I'll tell you and say, Matt, you know what? That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Or you could say something else. They're not. Okay, we're done, Carrie. Just forget it. All right, folks, we're leaving. Carrie, we're done. And unfortunately, I have to tell you this. I no longer will engage with you on the show. I won't. You don't want to have a conversation. I just explained to you exactly what took place. You won't listen to anybody. You're always right. And your conspiracy theories are going to continue to lead you down a path where you're going to remain ignorant to the facts. I'm sorry, but that's you. All right, folks. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. You can tune in at 8 o'clock. We will be back. We're not going to be back tomorrow, right, Liv? We're going to be back when?
Friday.
Friday, we'll be back at 8 o'clock. We'll have a recorded show for you on Friday. We may have one tomorrow, may not. But either way, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. I hope you learned something. I hope you found it to be entertaining.
Say goodnight, Yenny.
Say goodnight, Yenny Cat. Yenny Cat wants mom. She wants to sleep.
Yeah, she just wants me to love her right now.
All right, everybody. Oh, by the way, no, Carrie. See, Carrie, now you're doing what you always do. I'm just passing on what I found out. No, you are fighting tooth and nail to lie. It's just not going to work. Not anymore. Carrie, I appreciate you, but I can't talk to you anymore. You drive me crazy. You just drive me up the crazy wall. So we're gonna call it good. Until you have the courage to come on the show, we're done. Okay? It's the last time. If you continue to push and continue to do what you do, we're just going to go ahead and have to part ways. It's not you, it's me. Just need some time apart. Need to break up a little bit. I need to spread my wings and be free. Folks, thanks for watching Don't Unfriend Me. 22 veterans commit suicide a day. Listen to this message. Share it out. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. We love you. And once again, I'm keeping my temper in check. Isn't that a nice thing? Thanks, Liv. Appreciate you not saying anything.
Well, I smiled.
Whatever. Good night.
Night, y'all.
Oh, I got to locate the file. Son of a gun. Well, I thought we downloaded this last night. Didn't we do this last night?
I don't know. I am not in charge of anything technical.
Let's see if I can find this thing. Where did it? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. 60, 50, 40, 30, 1, 10. Here it is.
I'm David Boreanaz with
Bye.
the SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy.
Hold on. Livy, you can pop smoke. I'm gonna come in here.
You are
okay. So Abe says you have to know your history to not repeat it. If elections were rigged, don't you want to F that? What do you mean by rigged? Abe, be specific. What do you mean by rigged? Help me understand. What do you mean by rigged? What do you mean by rigged? What is rigged? Carrie says, you'll see it's happening now. Oh, whatever. Trust the plan. You'll see. God, please. Please. How foolhardily can you be? Abe, call in. Call in. What do you mean by rigged? Be specific. What do you mean by rigged? Do you mean people on ballot rosters who are dead or moved out of state? Do you mean duplicated votes? Do you mean watermarks on ballots? Do you mean Dominion servers were hacked? Do you mean water leaked in a polling place? Do you mean black tarps being put up on the windows? What do you mean? Dominion voting system? There's absolutely no proof that Dominion voting systems were hacked in any way, shape, or form. And any of the posthumous videos that show that they can be hacked, that's fine. But there's multiple redundancies. You're not going to go ahead and strip and bring in that many millions of votes from Dominion voting machines. Do you know how many court cases have been brought up on this? I've watched every single one of them. Do you know how many videos I've seen on this? Do you know all the things that I know about this? If you want to debate that the election was stolen, call in. You can call in right now. We'll have a good conversation. I'm not going to be grumpy with you. I'm not going to yell at you. Just call. What about Dominion voting systems? Dominion is suing Fox for this. Do you know how voting systems work from a digital perspective? Do you know that there has to be a physical ballot assigned with a key code that goes into that system? It's scanned in that system, and then it's accepted against your registration. Do you understand that that eliminates duplicate voting? Do you understand that there are any errors that are on those? They're not automatically counted. I understand that there's videos showing you that a Dominion server's hacked. And I can show you a video of an elephant hanging from a cliff by a daisy with their tail wrapped around it, but that doesn't mean it's so. Physics will tell you that that's impossible. You're telling me that there would have to be 7 different states all in cahoots, that polling places across each county, that county commissioners, county clerks, FBI, police officers, counters, poll supervisors, RNC, DNC, mayors, gubernatorials, state legislature, senators, judges, prosecutors, all would have to be involved. You're talking tens of thousands of people would have to keep the largest secret ever in world history. Ever. You have never worked for our government if you think that that's possible. And I haven't even told you the alternate reality to this whole thing that's provable right now, simply based on the amount of votes that came out. And my theory has never been challenged. Do you want to know why? Because it's true. You may not like it. It may not be sexy, but it doesn't mean that it's not true. Because I can back it up with facts. I can bring you the receipts. If you want to have a conversation, call in. Alex, I love you, but we're not going to talk about this because that's not what you want to talk about. I'm not taking phone calls for that. I'm taking phone calls right now. The extra fake ballots that were being counted, the real ones being replaced. That's not true, Adam. Adam, they proved that in court. You understand that? I can talk about the 116 boxes that were found that were expired from previous elections that have to be kept for a minimum of 7 years that were thrown away. They showed that in court. Maricopa County showed that. They showed that in Winslow County. I watched that. What are we talking about? Folks, you didn't answer the question. You can give me all these microcosm events, these small, tiny events that have question marks. These were all provided in court. I watched the 8 hours of depots. I watched and listened to the affidavit. I listened to the presentation during discovery. The reason why they didn't go to court is because there was nothing to go to court over. 3,700 affidavits were thrown out of court as being fictitious. Well, the judges won't hear them. They won't hear them because that's the way the system works. Prosecution and the state go ahead and have a conversation. They go ahead and present it during an arraignment or a discovery hearing. It's decided if it moves forward to even get a court date. If that doesn't happen, then they don't get a court date because the information is void. We saw Giuliani how many times go and do that? How many times did we see the Kraken do that? How many times did we see Wood do that? Well, I watched 72 of them myself. And every time they came up with these complete whackadaisical conspiracy bullshit, it was all disproven. You're telling me, just answer me how tens of thousands of multi-state and counties rigged an election all together. Because let me tell you why. The nuance of this is just insanity. It's insanity. You're talking about some sort of giant secret move mountain event with nobody knowing. It's kind of like when people say the UN is invading the United States. And I'm like, do you actually think that could happen without people noticing? Listen, nobody will call in because I've done this. I've done this for 3 years. I destroy people who talk about stolen elections. I am absolutely 100% against it. I've worked for elections. I know there's election fraud. Of course there's election fraud. But at the scale that you're talking about is absolutely impossible.
Good night.
Because you've never run an election yourself. You've never seen what happens behind the scenes. We know that there's fraud. We know that there's duping of ballots. We know that there's dead people who vote. We understand this. We know there's people who've out of state who vote. We know there's people who vote twice. All of those, we know about those things because those things are caught. You can find this out. All you got to do is go and look up the FEC, and you can see the reports that there's election fraud. There's Republican election fraud. There's Democrat election fraud. There's anti-government and anarchists who create election fraud. There's people who just want to see the system burn who do that. There's Greenpeace people who try to hold it accountable. Libertarians, secularists, religious zealots, neo-Nazis. I mean, there's efforts to sway our election. Yeah, we know this. But what you're talking about is that millions of votes were cast and falsified. And if that's the case, and if that's the truth, and it truly was a rigged election, then why did we gain Senate seats? Why did Republicans win House seats? Why didn't they rig it all? For the illusion of disparity? So you're going to risk life in prison and not go full tilt? It's ridiculous. You don't have any proof. You have speculative nonsense. We believe that Donald Trump couldn't lose. So what happened? Democrats did what they always do. They skirt the law. They allowed 50 million mail-in ballots. Did everyone look at the actual votes? 180 million votes. The closest election ever in U.S. history was 120. That was the highest election ever. Why? How in the hell do we have 60 million people vote? Unless mail-in ballots had something to do with it. That they received ballots that weren't registered. It's called solicitation. It's an unconstitutional provision. You can't solicit a vote. But what happened was these judges came in and they went ahead and made changes to the Constitution under COVID practices and emergency law. They took emergency powers and allowed judges that were democratically elected in these blue areas and allowed mail-in ballots to go to unregistered voters for ease of access for voting. Why do you think Republicans tried to fight this? Why do you think Wisconsin and why do you think Michigan were the two Democratic states during the primary, the Democratic primary, that went for the first time ever fully 100% mail-in ballot voting? You don't think the Democrats learned something about that? You don't think Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders being in the lead coming out of Michigan and Wisconsin didn't teach the Democrats something, that they had to do something, that Joe Biden was extremely unpopular? So you go ahead and you hide behind the COVID wall to have judges overturn the state's constitution to allow mass balloting in the 7 key swing states, which gave the Democrats an unfair advantage. I love you too. Are we not aware? Have you not seen this? What about the U.S. Postal Service when Donald Trump tried to go ahead and stop funding over $900 million for this election, when they said that they'd be counting for weeks at a time because they had never seen these amount of votes? All of this is a paper trail. It's all there. Why do you believe things that are unprovable when the facts are right in front of you? I've scratched the surface about what I know about this election. I lived through it. I was online 8 hours that night. I broke it down for everybody, and I warned everybody that I go look it up. It's on Facebook. And I said, folks, if you think he has 11% lead, you have no idea what's going to happen, because the mail-in ballots haven't been counted in these swing states because of the mass volume that they had. They're not going to start counting those until middle of the night. And when that happens, you're going to see his lead dwindle. I will be surprised if he has a lead in the morning. I told everybody that live. I gave you predictive analysis. I gave you moment-to-moment coverage. It was probably some of the best coverage you'll ever see in election night, and I did it in 2022 as well. Go watch it. Just because I have 100 people on, just because I don't have 40 million followers and I've got $1 million contract, I'm just a small-time podcast, but I know politics and I know how they work. And I stand by my record. And until somebody can come on here and tell me otherwise, I'll continue to do it. Unbeaten. Unchallenged. Fake mail-in ballots. There's absolutely no 100%. There's no evidence that fake ballots were used. Don't you remember the whole watermark ballot thing that was supposed to be Donald Trump's thing, that all these ballots were watermarked and they know what's real and they know what's fake? That was a lie. That was a Q conspiracy. Of course it was. And maybe not QAnon, but they were the basement dwellers. You guys know who I'm talking about. They're the disinformation people. I don't care about how you feel. I care about facts. Alex says, I admire your passion. I love you too, Alex. We're going to talk soon. So 81 people really voted for Sleepy Joe. I find it hard to believe Americans are that dumb. What? What? The founding fathers didn't trust Americans. They didn't trust the government either. That's why the anti-federalists and federalists made exceptions, separated the branches of government. Didn't give the people direct power. Folks, 2020 is over, and 2024 is going to be over unless we pull our heads out of our asses. That's the great point. Harvesting ballots early enough. Yes, that's the first thing I said. We need to learn how to harvest ballots. We need to go and encourage people to vote. We need to ensure that every ballot that's sent out gets filled out. And the only way you can do that is ballot harvesting, because the Democrats do it better. They do. It's not illegal. Everyone needs to let the stolen election go. Thank you, Debbie. Tries to call in, but link not working on my phone. Where's the phone number? We don't have a phone number. You got to click the link. Get on your computer. Do it then. All right, folks, I got to go. Yeah, it is. No, it's not a dead horse, because it's still, listen, there's people who believe this. There's people who, Ramon, it's not a dead horse. There's people who are not going to vote because they actually believe that it's stolen and it's a wasted vote. If you are in a swing state and you don't vote, you are an asshole. That's all I'm going to say. I haven't cussed at all. I've been a good guy. But I'm telling you, if you're in a swing state and you don't get out and vote, you are an number one asshole. Otherwise, I love you. Listen, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I got to go, folks. I got to go play video games. I got to go spend time with my kids and my wife. I appreciate you. Carrie, I don't appreciate you. I'm sick of your stubbornness. I'm sick of your bullheadedness. I've already got a wife. I don't need another. Good night, everybody.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call.
All right, I got to get back on. I got to do it. Valerie Philpott, somebody who's been a fan for a long time. Here it is. Oh. I just can't walk away. Can't walk away when it comes to the election. I got to do it. I just can't. And many ballots found in the middle of the night, not just counted. That's not true. Please tell me where. Which counties? Which district? Which precinct? I want them. Give them to me. Show me the ballots that were found that were never counted. Or do you mean that there were ballots that weren't actual votes because they did not have the proper information included, like signatures, like proper address, because some states do that. Those votes are not votes. They're ballots, and they're discarded unless they follow the basic proprietary requirements to be considered a vote. Again, reality says different. What do you mean reality? What you're upset? Your emotions, Valerie? What does that mean? No one going to challenge you as you refuse to accept the facts. No, facts. Give me the facts. What facts? I want evidence, exculpatory evidence. Give me an indictment. Give me an affidavit that's been accepted. Give me a warrant. Give me a special counsel. Give me a detective. Give me anything. Give me a parking ticket, which gives me evidence that any of this is true. I got 3 mail-ins in my name and 2 addresses I never asked for. I just told you why. Valerie, you don't listen. See, you guys are done. You're done. You and Carrie are from the same cloth. You won't call in because you know you can't argue the facts. Argue the facts. It's simple. Tell me what you know, not what you feel. I don't care about your feeling. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. I don't give a flying shit what you feel. I wanted Donald Trump to win too. He lost. Get over it. He lost. He said some stupid shit during COVID. Women abandoned him. Suburban women outside the inner city, they left him in droves. It got him crushed. They didn't have a third-party candidate like Jill Stein. Biden surprised everybody. They didn't realize how much he was hated. Okay, let's learn from it now. No, guy. I don't care if you don't listen, and I don't care if you think that that's the way I am. I've been listening to those two ladies for 2 years, and they don't have one piece of evidence. All they have is their feelings. I just trust the plan. Trust the plan. It was stolen. Show me evidence. I've seen the same videos you have. I've seen 2,000 Mules. I've read the affidavits. I've listened to the court cases. You have no evidence. You have a bunch of fictitious reporting. What's more probable? That the greatest heist ever was pulled off? That tens of thousands of people over 7 different states pulled off the greatest cover-up in history? That it was 2,000 mules? That it was watermarked ballots, that it was Dominion servers, that it was George Soros in South America with the Buenos Aires Nazis? I've heard all the conspiracies, folks. That all those things unilaterally together created the greatest heist in history. Or that COVID happened, that Democrat lawyers and judges altered the Constitution to send out mass mail-in ballots into the most vulnerable blue strongholds ever, that interjecting over 50 million ballots of mail-in ballots in the system to voters who were not active registered, that allowed them to vote from home without requesting a mail-in ballot, saturated the system that, yes, Donald Trump benefited from too, but more importantly, that they knew that Democrats were going to go ahead and benefit from more, because that's what Democrats do. They are embracing the mail-in ballot system. They embrace ballot harvesting. They knew they could go ahead and beat the Republicans at this game, and did. We got our asses kicked, and you guys want to make up fantasies. You want to make up fantasies. You want to make up stories. It gets people killed. It creates January 6th and gives the fucking liberals ammunition to hold it over our heads for the rest of our lives and make us look like a bunch of conspiracist assholes. Shed what you think you know and listen to the people who do. You just may not know everything you think you know. Because I have stood up here for 2.5 years. Tell me when I've been wrong. Tell me when I've been wrong. Then if I haven't earned credibility, I never will. Stop watching my show. Because I disagree with you, I want you to leave? No, because I've been disagreeing with you for 2.5 years. I want you to leave because you will not listen to anyone other than what goes on 3 centimeters between your own eyes. You're the problem. You just got to admit that the Democrats outplayed us, and it can never happen again. We can't let it happen again. Valerie, you're not listening to me. And damn it, girl, I don't understand why. I just told you why you received multiple mail-in ballots, because they used emergency powers under COVID to change the state electorate. Don't you remember we were on lockdown? They said nobody can make it to the polls because they're afraid of getting COVID. Legislators were not involved to alter the Constitution. It was district judges. They used emergency COVID powers to alter the way elections were done. And they solicited your vote by sending out ballots that were never requested. That's not illegal. The Supreme Court just judged on it. That district judges can make that decision based upon the state conditions because of emergency powers. The state's constitution can't be amended. It can only be amended by the state legislatures. That's in every constitution, except for an emergency situation. Emergency powers grant these enumerated, these intended, these implied powers to the courts, because the courts can cut through the red tape. The courts were representing the people. They believed, and the Democrats believed, and these judges believed, that in order to get people to have a vote because they were afraid of COVID or they couldn't get into the DMV, that their voice would be quashed. So they sent out mail-in ballots in droves. And government redundancy sucks. Multiple ballots were sent to people. Of course they were. The question is did you fill it out 4 times? No, because if you did, You would have a knock from the FEC on your door with a badge in your face because people did fill it out multiple times and they have caught a lot of those people. But those votes aren't counted. There's redundancies. Every single ballot has a serial number against your registration. You get one vote. And yes, there are people who vote in the middle of the day and also sent in a mail-in ballot, and those votes subsequently were removed. That's why you see discarded ballots. What the hell's why don't we ever have, why do we challenge everything? When did we get like this? Yes, our government lies to us. Yes, there's corruption. Yes, there's deceit. Yeah, I get it. I get all those things. But why do we believe it just because people say it? Isn't that what we should do, is have evidence? Shouldn't you have, don't you think one person, just one? Let me ask you a question. Honestly, just honestly, you think that somebody wouldn't come out and whistleblowed this and went to a newspaper and say, I want $20 million? Go to the Washington Post, go to the New York Times, go to the press, go to the Star Free Press, go to the Dallas Journal. I want $20 million raised and I'm going to blow this whole fucking thing wide open. You don't think somebody could do that? Why aren't there people doing that? Because the ones that did do it were crazy. The ones that did do it were disqualified. The ones that did do it were found not to be credible. Oh, it's the Democrat judges. Not everybody's a Democrat. Do you really think that tens of thousands of people are going to go ahead and conspire to commit fraud against the American people and spend the rest of their lives in jail? What is wrong with you guys? I told you a long time ago, I'll never lie to you. I'll never bullshit you. I'm never going to tell you what you want to hear for ratings. And I lost viewers tonight. I lost viewers tonight because I did not agree with what you think. And I don't care. You want me to change my mind? Prove it. Otherwise, the answer is no. I will not sit here and espouse that the election was stolen. I will tell you what I do believe happened, and it wasn't against the law, and there's no precedent against it. And the Supreme Court just gave them carte blanche to do it again under emergency powers. So you better pray there's not a COVID 2.0. You better pray that all of a sudden there's not martial law. But even if all that's true, and they gave votes to people who have never voted before, it should have been done on a national scale. The registry should have been checked in all states, across all counties, not just the blue ones. I have never said that the election was stolen, but I have said it's unconstitutional. But because I won't say the word stolen, people get upset. Well, guess what? I'm done apologizing it. And I've already said this a million times. And I've already had this dialogue for hundreds of hours on this show. And I said I would never do it again. But alas, here I am being distracted by the trolls who are supposed to be fans of my show. Yet you keep me on. And you know that it's going to trigger me. Because I hate this. I can't stand that we've been reduced to this. Every 2 years, or every year, in fact, we get to overthrow our government peacefully. And you guys want to pretend that that shit doesn't matter, and it makes me sick to my stomach. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I've had enough of the don't unfriend me's tonight, and I'm going to go and wallow in my misery and eat some yogurt and play my game, I think. Good night, everybody. Have a good one.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast the SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call.